Dear students, this is Basant Tiwary, your English teacher. Today we have to read a poem. I think I could turn and live with animals. This poem has been composed by Walt Whitman. The poem I think I could turn and live with animals has been taken from Song of Myself in Leaves of Grass. It is actually a compilation that has been written by Walt Whitman. The name of the compilation is Song of Myself, which the poem has been chosen from. Now, before proceeding with the chapter, I give you an introduction. The poet Walt Whitman wants to tell that he prefers animals over human beings. He describes the negative aspects or negative qualities of human beings, as animals don't have those. The poet actually likes animals a lot. He loves them very much and therefore he wants to be in their company. So now let us be on the explanation of the poem. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-content. Here placid means calm and peaceful or relaxed. So in this stanza, the poet is saying very clearly that he wants to live with animals. And he describes the qualities of animals, those qualities that the poet likes a lot. He says that animals are placid, it means they are calm or peaceful. They are relaxed. They are at ease. They are self-content, means they are self-satisfied in their world. They are never worried about the rest of the world. Animals don't discuss their personal problems with one another. They don't share their feelings with one another. Now, the poet says, I stand and look at them long and long. Actually, the poet goes on watching the animals for a long time. He analyzes all the things of animals, that they don't bother, they don't disturb one another. And that is why he wants to live with animals. It means poet is not satisfied with his own society. Actually, the poet is a human, but he is not at all satisfied with his company, with his relatives. That is why he feels that animals are better creature. So that is why he wants to live with animals, not with humans. Now in next sentences, he describes the reason behind it. So now in the second stanza, the poet says, they don't sweat and whine about their condition. Whine means to cry and to complain. To go on crying always, to go on weeping always, and to go on complaining. Or a high-pitched complaining cry is called whine. Now here, the poet Walt Whitman tells some more qualities of animals that he likes. He says that animals do not go on crying always. They do not go on complaining always about their situation, about their condition, about their lives. But human beings do. If human beings have any difficulty, pain, etc., they cannot stop complaining. But animals don't do. They do not like awake in the dark and weep for their sins. The poet further says that animals don't regret for their sins. For any mistake, for any bad deed, animals don't weep, they don't regret. The poet further says that human beings regret a lot. Human beings are always in habit to complain if they have any difficulty, any problem, or any sort of pain. Animals do not awake at night in regret. They do not cry whole night in regret. But these are done by human beings. And therefore, saying all these differences, the poet wants to tell the difference between animals and humans. He describes all the negative quality of human beings that animals don't possess. And this is why he likes animals a lot. Human beings always go on complaining for their problems. And as a matter of fact, they are in the problem because of their desires. If human beings commit any mistake, they weep in guilt. They awake whole the night in guilt. They regret for their mistake. But on the other hand, animals don't. They do not make me sick, discussing their duty to God. Actually, here in the third line, poet wants to say, actually human beings having performed their duty to God discuss with others. Human beings feel self-glorification, and this makes the poet sick. It means the poet hates this attitude of human beings. People are in habit of boast about themselves. If they do something good, they go on telling it everyone they meet. They tell about the good things they do. They describe always. But the poet says these are not found in animals. That's why he likes animals and he wants to be with them. He wants to live with them actually. Now in the next stanza, the poet says, not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. So here, the word demented means behaving irrationally due to anger or excitement. When someone loses his mental balance, if someone becomes crazy or mad, that can be told as demented too. And with the mania of owning things, mania means craze. So the poet says, not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Now again the poet discusses the another quality of human beings, that is actually greed. Here owning things means greed, you can say. Here the mania of owning things means the attitude of being greedy. So the poet discusses the another quality of human beings, that is actually being greedy. Human beings are always dissatisfied. They want more and more of everything. They are always crazy for having more and more things, and they become queer this way. But such tendency is not found in animals. Not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Actually, human beings are in habit to kneel before others. Here, kneels means to go down by bending the knees. Actually, kneel means to be in a position in which the body is supported by your knees, as when praying or showing submission. So, not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Human beings are in habit to kneel before others, being inferior. Like someone is prime minister and another one is a peon. Someone is master and someone is servant. Someone is to rule. On the other hand, others are to be ruled. There is discrimination in human society. There is great discrimination of level among human beings. But animals don't have as such. They don't know ever about their family. They are not bound with the relatives. But human beings are always in habit to be in the bound of relationship. They always have either such relatives who are related to the same hierarchy, or they make relationship with anyone of their society. So the poet doesn't like making relations too. He doesn't like brotherhood. And because the poet is dissatisfied with the liars, with the false faces, he knows animals do not hide anything in their heart, but human beings do. So that is why he doesn't like any relative, he doesn't like brotherhood, he doesn't like making friends. And because animals don't have such quality, such attitude, because animals don't make relationship with other animals, the poet likes them a lot. Nobody is either superior or inferior in the world of animals. Every animal is equal to one another. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So in the third sentence, the poet says that each animal is on equal level. They enjoy the very same status. They have the same level of life. And the poet likes this fact a lot. Now let's be on the next stanza. So, they show their relations to me and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly in their possession. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. Here, token means a symbol, a mark, to denote something. the symbol or mark of a good quality. Here, so they show their relations. In this sentence, the word they, the pronoun they, stands for the different animals. And the poet says that they make relation with the poet where there is no discrimination, as if they accept the poet as a part of their world. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly and their possession. Tokens here means the symbols, virtues or qualities. Evince means to show or to indicate. Here, token is a symbol of something or it is a mark of a good quality. Here, tokens of myself is the qualities that human beings used to have long ago. The qualities that were innocence, kindness, etc. These qualities are no longer in human beings, but can be seen in animals. So tokens of myself means those qualities that were held by human beings long ago. I wonder where they get those tokens. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? So tokens again means qualities and negligently means carelessly. So now the poet is saying that now he has got an interrogation in his mind, that how have these qualities been got by animals? Qualities like kindness, innocence, etc. He seems human beings have left these qualities because of their negligence, and these have been passed on to animals. Now it's time for us to think out that we have left our good qualities negligently, carelessly, and they are still present in animals. So now let us be on the poetic devices. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-content. I stand and look at them long and long. So first of all, what is the rhyme scheme of the poem? As we can see in the poem, there is no rhyme scheme. This poem has been composed in free verse because the ending words don't have any musical sequence. The ending words are not rhyming words. That is why this poem is free verse. There is no rhyme scheme here. And the poetic device that we find here in this poem is anaphora. Anaphora is a very important poetic device used in this poem. Actually, anaphora is the use of an expression whose interpretation depends upon another expression in the context. Actually, anaphora is a technique where several phrases begin with the same word or words. Or you can understand in a very simple way that anaphora is when two or more consecutive lines start with same consonant sound. So here in this stanza, not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So here in this stanza, not one is at the beginning of all these three lines. So this is called anaphora. In this stanza also, we find the example of anaphora because here also we see that every line starts with they do not. So this is also the example of anaphora because anaphora is a technique where several phrases begin with the same words. Now in this stanza we see the use of alliteration. So what is alliteration? Actually, the repetition of a consonant sound that starts with two or more than two connected words is called alliteration. Here we can see the third sentence of the stanza. In this line, the words make me that have been written in red here is the example of alliteration because both these words start with the same consonant sound. And here also we find the example of alliteration. I wonder where they get those tokens. So here also both these words start with the same consonant sound. Okay students, thank you. Now you have to do an activity you have to find out, you have to gather more and more information about the poet of the poem, Walt Whitman. And you have to know about all his works. And having found out, you have to write them on an A4 sheet. And then you have to keep it safely in your portfolio. Thank you, students.